You're tuned in to a Grown Folks production.
In the mix
With the commish, Nate.
Heyo! Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Press Pass Live. What seems like the 8th day in a row. It's not really the 8th day in a row, but today we are going to unveil the top 10 coaches in the OMFL for Madden 24, Mr. Maniac special. I'm your host, the commish, and founder of the OMFL and the Grown Folks online community. This guy right next to me is not only the creator of the OMFL used to be top 25, but now it's just the top 10, but the commissioner of the Deuce Dynasty, Mr. Maniac. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah. That was something I was going to say. Like, it kind of evolved. I think the very first one I did was the top 25. Which that was a chore. Then the top 20, which when we originally started, guys would vote. And then you had 8 or 9 guys that never voted. So you know what? I'm going to put this thing together myself and kind of make it a exclusive group. And so then the top 10 was born. And so we've been doing the top 10, I guess, for at least the last 3 Maddens.
I'm going to just say it up front because other people are thinking it. These are magnificent headphones, but they are big. Why are they so big on my head today? What's up, Emmett? What's up, Bronco Man? Bronco Man said, sup, y'all. Probably won't catch the whole thing on my bachelor trip. Just finished some drunk tubing, about to play some golf and shoot some fireball. That is the life of a young man. Ugh, gross. Fireball. Man, you need better taste. All right, Mr. Maniac, are you ready to do this?
Do it, man.
All right, coming in at number 10. Before we get going, tell us what the criteria, the way that you developed this. Tell us what you were looking at before we show number 10.
Okay, so kind of what I do is I go through and I break down. One, obviously, you look at, which let me put this plug in. As I'm saying this, Neon Sports is a great tool now to actually keep and track coaching records, the playoffs that they make and stuff like that. So one of the criteria is how successful they were this Madden as being a coach of their team or multiple teams. If you take certain guys in the league, they've coached 6 different teams this Madden. So every season it's a new team, but Neon Sports does a good job tracking all of that. Even if they do skip the different teams, it stays with their coaching profile. So that was one of the tools that I use this year for that. The other is I look at how active they are in the chat and putting out content. How do they respond to things as in sportsmanship? What was some of the other ones? Activity, confidence, how confident they are, and in the chat talking about their team. If I'm giving myself a confidence rating, it's probably somewhere in the 70s to a low 70s to maybe a high 60. I don't know. Sometimes I get really down. So confidence is another thing to look at. Football IQ and the guy that knows the X's and O's, and there's some guys in this league that are absolutely phenomenal masterminds at the X's and O's, the football IQ. Team building is another aspect that I look at. There's some guys that you look at guys like Roger and the Texans. He always says we're great in the draft, team building, but it goes far past that to just not team building, but how do they do when they trade away players? Do they get good free agents, trade quality, all those kind of things kind of factor in. And then the other one is stick skills. How good are they on the sticks, or how bad are you on the sticks? Kind of I'm kind of an in between guy for myself, but anyway, I go through and try to rate the guys, and then I get my top 10 from that, and so it's personal perspective, but a lot of the media and stuff in the NFL and those things, when they put together these things, it is a lot of times it's those media outlets, those analysts putting those together, and so that's kind of what I take that from, and that's kind of how I incorporated it. Kind of like the top 100 NFL players, those are kind of voted on by their peers, but I kind of took that, and that's kind of how this has morphed into the top 10 coaches of the OMFL.
We're in trouble, y'all. It took him 10 minutes just to explain how he came up with it. We may be here for 4 hours. Buckle up.
Hey.
Bronco man, you'll be sober by the time this show's over. I'm just kidding. All right, coming in at number 10, we're going to put this up on both of these. It's going to be our good friend, Mr. Beal. I don't know why. I think you forgot that he was not the Bills for most of this Madden, right? Or I don't know. I guess he was the Bills for most of it. Should have put like 8 logos up there because Bill was a bunch of different teams. He's coming in at a 90 overall. He's our 10th coach. Walk us through why Bill is your 10th coach here in the OMFL.
Okay. One thing is Bill, he is a stable in this community. He's gotten to me, I think if you look at Bill's the way he's performed with the teams that he's been on, I think he's gotten better on the six over the last few years. And the older we get, that's kind of hard sometimes to say about somebody. But, from what I can remember playing him in the past, he just seems like he's gotten really good at certain things. He's really good defensive coach. So his stick skills to me have increased a little bit. And activity, there's probably very few people that are as active as Bill. He's always, posting things, cracking the whip. He's always putting together the playoff bracket, which that in itself, I mean, you go posting the playoff bracket for 6 or 8 weeks, whatever he does, he posts it, and he keeps it very, very tidy. He's always on top of it. So that would be one of the things to look at, the activity. Confidence, Bill is another one that, he's kind of a middle of the road type of guy, but he's never really like real down. He's always like pretty positive. So, but anyway, that's kind of where I got that from, that top 10, and I felt like Bill's spot here. There was honorable mentions. I had a pretty good season this Madden, and I thought about putting myself here at that point, but I didn't have the success in the playoffs. Bill had success in the playoffs. He won a couple of playoff games. I didn't win a playoff game this whole cycle. So, others that could have been there, even yourself, you struggled with your team this season. But
there's no way I was a top 10.
But
I was bottom 10 this Madden.
You fit the criteria on a lot of the other things too: sportsmanship, football IQ, team building. You're a great team builder. Activity. You're the only one that I think that really could impose a 99 rating. There may be somebody else that could step in and get a 99 rating in the activity, but you're always putting out content just like that. So, but that's kind of how I funnel it down, and then. You do the averages once I give a rating between 1 and 100, and then I come up with that overall rating for the guys. So you see Bill has a 90 overall rating. Do you want me to go down each subject, with the 6 skills and things? Or
it's up to you. I will say this is unfortunate, but I have a delivery that just showed up. I don't know why my wife puts grocery delivery on Friday afternoons. And so I'm going to let Maniac rumble for here a minute. Don't go past 10, though. Let me get these groceries in the house at least so they don't melt outside. And when I come back, we'll go to number 9. Oh, I know you can fill it up. Don't worry about it. You go for it.
I can fill it up, man. So, all right. So we're just going to go down the list here. Telling you what the ratings are in these categories. There's 6 categories that I label for attributes. If we were making a Madden Ultimate Team card, or a card that you would be filling in for the coach. So the top one here is stick skills. Bill, I gave him an 85 because again, I do believe that Bill has improved in his stick skills. He'd probably say, "I have not. What are you drinking?" But again, like I said, I've seen him play with other teams in the past, and I think that he has actually improved. He's gotten wiser with age, so I give him that 85 rating there on that one. Activity, again, talking about Bill with the playoff bracket. Not only that, but he's always in the chat helping out with the scheduling. He seems to actually get the chat going sometimes when it's dead. He'll chime in, post something, and then get something started. He's always willing to help out too. Like in the Deuce, he's helped out in the Deuce right now. He's helping me run the D2 league, and then he's really good at about doing other things, and he's also going to help us with the college football league as well. He's going to be running the scheduling over there. So a 96 rating. So I think that is a proper rating for him. I even thought about giving him a 97 or 98 in this category, but confidence again. This is how confident some guys, you just see them when they post in the chat. They're like, always giving Meat Boy a hard time. Put some respect on my name. Bill's not like that, but he is also that quiet, confident guy that, hey, I'm going to go give my best against D Money or D Wayne, and I'm going to put my best foot forward, try to win this game. And so he's always pretty solid, even kill. So an 84 rating there. Sportsmanship, again, great sportsman. I never really heard much of anything in the chat. He doesn't get in the chat complaining. So he's really a great sportsmanship shower in that category. So I give him a 94. Football IQ, again, Bill is a guy that knows. If you watch any of his streams, his games, especially the defensive side, he is very defensive minded. And I will not forget the actual championship game that he had going with Kobe, and I think it was championship game or a playoff game. But anyway, I question myself now on what the game was. But there was a point where that game was a 10-7, just a really hard fought defensive game. And anytime you hold Kobe down to those type of points, you're doing great. And so that was one of the callbacks that I had for the IQ. Team building. The Buffalo Bills, I think starting out the cycle is probably one of the more difficult teams to start out with. I really think that the cap situation that they're in, especially with the big signing of the quarterback, Josh Allen, just getting kind of underway. And then you look at some of the aging guys. You see Bill right away start making moves. Got some draft picks, and he drafted really well. He was probably like one of the top 10 drafters this season, even skipping around to 6 different teams. He definitely did well in the draft, and you just got to give him credit to that. So, again, that's kind of how I got the 94. I try to gauge each guy that I'm looking at, try to gauge those, and then give them the rating that I come up with. Are you back yet? He's not back yet. But that is number 10. And looking, I was just kind of curious as we're waiting for 8.
I'm back. We're back. I did that in record time as much as I could. What's up, Messi? Thanks for hanging out with us. Okay, so we got through Bill, right?
Yeah, we got through Bill. I just finished, and I was like fixed to start filling the air.
There we go. All right, coming in at number 9, we got our good buddy, Mr. Black Cats, 89 overall. Now, I raised the question to you, my bud. How did this guy come in 89 overall, and he's number 9? Bill's 90 overall came in at number 10. Break down Black Cats.
Okay, so, again, the positions that I have, like the overall rating doesn't fully show like where they're at. But the spot that I give them is where I feel like that fits their point. in the top 10. And then I kind of give them the rating afterwards. But Black Cat, again, he was with the Panthers to start out this Madden cycle. First couple of seasons, really struggled with his favorite team.
Wait, no. Was he?
Yeah. Yeah, him and Bird switched mid-season.
Oh, my goodness. I need medicine. I thought that was like a Madden ago. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so he was the Panthers to start out with, and then all of a sudden he's like Bird. He gives Bird the opportunity. Somehow, some way, they make a switch. He ends up in L.A. With the Chargers, but looking at what he did when he was with the Chargers, he made it to an OMFL Bowl. He was actually pretty competitive up to a certain point, and then kind of fell behind. The D-Money Buzzsaw, I believe it was, or it might have been Trey that he played, one of those two guys. But anyway, he's been really since he took over the Chargers. It seems like this team fit his style so well that he just kind of blossomed into what we're looking at right now at the number 9 coach in the OMFL. Stick skills, I gave him 87. Really, I kind of started out trying to give him a little bit higher, but I think where his stick skills are best is just pounding the rock. I think he did struggle a little bit on defense. In the AFC West, they give up a lot of points, so that's just kind of like the criteria to be an AFC West coach. So an 87 was the rating that I gave him here out of 99, but still a great rating for his stick skills because he took over that Chargers running attack, and man, he absolutely ran great with a running back a lot of guys would probably not carry on their football team. Activity, I gave him an 89. I think looking at this, I may have actually kind of gave him a little bit higher.
A little.
He is.
I love my dude. He is the best, but my guy ain't never around.
I think I actually forgot to change his rating here. Looking at that, so I think it was actually supposed to be a 79 or 69. Anyway, I did all these because whenever I do the ratings, I pop them in, and then I'll just copy it over and then go right to the next one. And I think I skipped over. Anyway, it was supposed to be a little bit lower. But activity, he does whenever he needs to do his duties in the OMFL or whatever. He's always, there doing his jobs or whatever. He's definitely not quite at the 89 mark though. So that is a typo. Sorry, Black Cats, to burst your bubble on Press Pass Live on that one, but. That is a typo on that one. So should have been a little bit lower, which would also brought the rating down a little bit lower also. Confidence, looking at confidence, I think you look at his confidence, it was shot a little bit from going from the Panthers to the Chargers, especially with your favorite team. You give up your favorite team, go to another team, sometimes it just affects you differently. And I think that was what he was kind of looking at, like his team affected his confidence in his playing, and so he gave him up. And but I do think that he was pretty solid once he took over the Chargers. He was definitely a solid dude in the confidence rating once he got to a team that was really kind of fitting his style. Sportsmanship, I don't hear any complaints out of him. I don't remember seeing anything for as like any dings coming in for sportsmanship. He's always a great dude when the conversation we have with him. He's real respectful. And so that sportsmanship rating at 91 is where I come up with that one. Football IQ, again, it's kind of like just at this point, I'm kind of checking off this. Does he fit? How does he do on defense? How does he do on offense? Running, passing the ball. He does really good. He's not like one of the upper echelons guys in the football queue, but again, I think an 89 rating was a solid rating to give him here. Definitely, guys could say, hey, I feel like I'm not quite that good, but again, this is part of the content. I get to make this up, and then you guys get to critique it. So, the team building, I think he done better when he got to the Chargers than he did with the Panthers. Again, I think that this is one of those things where some guys, when they get on their favorite team, they can't let go of certain players because they have a little bit of fandom, because hey, this is my dude. I watch him every Sunday. He's a great player. I don't want him to leave, so I'll go ahead and pay him the money. And he's already, in Madden terms, past the age of great potential or to be a great player in Madden. So sometimes that can come back to bite you in the Madden league. So I think going from the Panthers to the Chargers really improved his team building skill. If he was staying with the Panthers, looking at what he did with the Panthers, if I would have rated his team building, it would probably drop down probably in the low 80s, because he just held on to guys, I think, a little bit too long and didn't really make the moves that he needed to make his team stronger. But that's how we got to the overall rating 89. But again, the activity rating, that is a typo. I had to look back in my notes to see exactly where it was, but I think it was like a 79. I think I actually was supposed to have been.
That's coming in at number 9, Mr. Black Cats, and we've gotten through 2 coaches, and we're almost 30 minutes deep into this podcast. We may have to speed it up a little bit here. I'm just going to give my feedback. I love this, and this starts those conversations of, oh man, what would I rate it here? What would I rate it here? I'd have gave Bill like a 99 in activity. The rest, I think, is pretty close, maybe a little higher in football IQ. That guy's always been a defensive stud, and I may bump him up a little bit in my list. And then when it comes to Black Cats, awesome dude. He's just got 2 little babies and a busy job building a house right now. So that activity, as you've already said, a little lower than that. I probably would have gave him a little higher in confidence, though, because he is a pretty confident guy. He really thought he was going to walk into that Super Bowl with D-Money and compete with him. It got away from him, but a really good human being. And coming in at number 8, first little laugh to wrap that one up. Coming in at number 8 is going to be our buddy, Mr. Kevin, 89 overall, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. How did we get to Mr. Kevin at number 8?
All right, so I knew for a fact Kevin would be like, what are you smoking, man? Because, but if you look at, except for a couple of seasons, and it was usually whenever we had like a little bit of a slider change or some kind of change into the game that maybe disrupted him a little bit. Again, I think, though, there was not a better quarterback passing team besides maybe the Dolphins with the Buccaneers, and he made the playoffs at least 4 seasons, I believe, that, because I don't even have that stuff pulled up now, but I remember looking at either Neon Sports or something that showed that he had made the playoffs like at 4 of the seasons out of the 6. And again, those other down seasons, usually he struggled really bad. But he had a winning record this season. Again, his quarterback play was top notch. His 2 wide receivers were always leading basically every season for the stats categories and stuff. So again, stick skills, I gave him 89. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of stick skills going on with controlling a quarterback, but you do also have to make those right decisions, and he was one of the better quarterback users in this league. So again, I came up with an 89 based upon just that, pretty much solely. He is also a pretty solid safety user. He will make the occasional mistake coming in trying to take the hit stick and whiff, but overall, though, a great stick user, and like I said, where he gets his main part of the rating is that quarterback usage. Activity, again, just this is kind of also over the course of the community. Kev is pretty active in the community. He does help out with some of the committees that you have going on with like the trade committee and different things. So Kev is pretty active in all those, and so I gave him that 84 rating. Again, like I said, I screwed up on the past one, so it makes me angry. Makes me angry at myself. I messed it up. So, but an 84 rating for that. Confidence, though, I actually started to give him a 66, and I was like, man, that's really low. But sometimes Kev does get really low.
Sometimes.
Again, a lot of times he gets really low, and he's kind of like a woe is me, and I get the same way. So that confidence rating took a little bit of a hit, just emphasis on a little bit. So 76, but man, except for if he wasn't playing D Money or D Wayne or just I can't even think of another guy, but I think it was like if there was 3 guys that weren't in this league, he probably would have been in the OMFL bowl game probably 2 times this last Madden, because he was just really that good on offense. Sportsmanship, I've had plenty of situations with him where he could have been my internet is pretty shoddy. We've had some situations where personally he could have just like come at me and say, look, I'm tired of this, but he was always like very polite, saying, hey, look, I understand. Hey, we can play this game tomorrow. We can do this. We can do that. So sportsmanship, one of the top guys here, 93 rating. Just love him for that and appreciate him for that. Again, a lot of this is just personal interactions with these guys and stuff. So that's how I got that rating. Football IQ, again, he's really good at the X's and O's, especially on offense, man. Offense is where he shines. He really was good at mixing up the ball as well. He was kind of the running the ball. You would look at it and say, well, if he had such a dynamic passing attack, why would he even be considered running? He was kind of an under performing runner, but whenever he needed his running game, man, he was really good at it, especially with the running backs that he had there in Tampa. So really a 94 for that football IQ. Team building, I thought he done really exceptional in the drafts. There was a couple of guys that he got in the drafts that were just thorns in my side, being the Falcons. After 2 or 3 seasons, man, I was just like, oh, I'm ready to see these guys retire from this Madden, because I don't want to see them next Madden. So, but that is how I got Kev's 89 rating here, and the number 8 overall coach in the OMFL.
Yeah, I got no feedback. I thought this one was really good, and I like Kevin at number 8 at 89. So, Mr. Kevin of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming in at number 8. We got 2 more as we get going here. So, coming in at number 7 is going to be Mr. Kobe of the New York Jets, 91 overall, 7th here on this list. Kobe was pretty dominant, sort of faded at the end of the cycle, but how did we get to Kobe at number 7?
Yeah, really, Kobe would have probably been a little higher if he'd have been a little bit more, I guess, kind of engaged or in the thick of things here the last couple of seasons in the cycle. But, man, the first 4 seasons, Kobe was in the thick of things, pushing for OMFL AFC championship games. His teams were just really good. Stick skills, he's one of the top guys here. I really flirted around with how I was grading him. Started to give him like a 95, probably on his stick skills. Probably could have, but I lowered that down just a little bit because, again, every time you start you rate the guys. For me, I kind of rate the guys where I think they should be, and then I start kind of bringing in their ratings, and I just kind of like, I think probably this could come down, that could go up. But stick skills, again, he's one of the top guys here, obviously, because he's in the top 10 of my list. 93. He's not like some of the guys here that will juke 16 times, and juke out your boots.
Ooh, that feels pointed.
But he is very good.
I think we might see that guy next.
Very, very good on defense, man. He's great on the sticks on defense. He is good offensively as well. But man, he is great on the sticks. I think on defense is where he shines. He is one of the few cornerback users that has been really solid for the last 3 or 4 Maddens. So again, you have to give props for that, because that is some of the toughest positions to try to use her and be effective. Activity. At first, he was pretty active. Kind of went down. This is probably in the range of where I had Black Cats, and again,
he's less active than Cats.
I'm not gonna let it go, man. But activity-wise, he was a little bit more active than Black Cats. He did put out some. He's always doing like commentary on his streams. Sometimes it might have been the best commentary, because there was nobody that complained about his quarterback probably more than Kobe, but except for me with Parker Colts. So I kind of feel your pain, Kobe. So, but man, activity-wise though, he was pretty active. But there is other guys, they're a little more active. So again, 80 rating there. But that could be hashed over if somebody wanted to hash that over. Confidence though, confidence rating 94. This guy probably should flirt with a 96 rating, maybe a 97 rating confidence. But again, I brought that down because again, I felt like this was the spot kind of where he stood out. And then later on, as you can see, the Madden cycle go, his confidence rating started dropping, even with just his team, because he was always, again, with like the quarterback or it's just, this not happening, that not happening, so it kind of, you could kind of see his confidence just kind of falling a little bit in his team. And it kind of showed here the last end with his team kind of not being really real into the thick of things as we wound the Madden cycle down. Sportsmanship, Kobe is a very solid sportsman. I gave him a 90 rating here.
Ignore that, my bad.
Oh, I was going to say, what was that?
Yeah.
The 90 rating though, it's kind of like the pat on the back rating, because you got to the top 10. It could have fluctuated up and down a little bit, but for the most part, I've never had any issues with sportsmanship with Kobe. He's always been very respectful, and any situation that I've seen come about with me and him, it's always talked in a very respectful way. So he's a very respectable sportsmanship in this league. So I gave him a 90 rating there. Football IQ. Again, another 94. He is very, very keen. I think probably Kobe, looking at a lot of his games and stuff, I would almost guarantee you like he scripts out his plays some, because he is just so efficient with gameplay and game calling, play calling in the game. So again, a 94 rating could have flirted with a 95, 96 there. Team building, I thought he kind of took a hit. I was looking at some of the past ratings that I did. I think I gave him a little bit better team rating in the past. I think he took a little bit of a hit on team building this year, because I think in some ways he didn't address that need, that the situation with his quarterback. Again, I think he probably would have been better off to try to draft him back early on. So maybe there's a few things that I think he could have done better in team building. But again, that me as personally, and but I still gave him a 92 because he does put together a solid team, and his defense was the best part about his team.
Perfect timing, Mr. Bird. I would have had Bill a little higher on this list. I'd had Kobe probably in my top 5. His activity, though, would have been worse than Black Cat's. Kobe is never, ever, ever around. I respect it. He gets his things in. It's not required to be active in chat, but I would have stick skills a little bit higher than that. His confidence, I agree with you, is pretty high. He's a really confident guy. I think everything else is pretty spot on. It just was a little bit of a struggle with his team building towards the end, but he's still a 90-plus overall team builder here. Coming in at number 7 is Mr. Kobe of the New York Jets. And that leads us to number 6. Bronco Man with some drunk text in here says this cycle, particularly, I'd say 10-6 would be Kobe at number 6, Cincy at 7, 8, Bill, Denbrew at 10, Bird, and Black Cats at number 10. I think I screwed that up a little bit, but you get the point. Let's get over here and get ready for the last one for today. And then we're going to come back to you probably tomorrow or Sunday. Coming in at number 6, that's right, Mr. Birdman, 33, 90 overall. Coming in at number 6 on this list with the Carolina Panthers. How did we get to Bird as the number 6 owner in Madden 24?
Okay, so, I didn't show a little bit of bias to my NFC South brother, and because obviously I had to face him a lot. But looking at Bird, just as you would look at Kev with the Bucks, Bird, once he took over the Panthers, he was just really something changed with how he really addressed this team. He had them in the thick of each playoff race. I believe that he won the most, or him and Kev split actually on the championships in this season, or this Madden season. So
NFC again, South championships.
Yeah, NFC South championships. So, but the division ran through these two guys right here. But as I was kind of joking about the 16 jukes, man, Birdman is the juke master of the Kung Fu juke master, I guess. I don't know. Maybe we need to come up with some kind of crazy name for him, because he was so smooth and slick with those juke moves, man. I don't know how he did it, but man, he could make every guy on your team miss and look stupid. But he is so smooth on that, and he's not shabby on defense either. He's his middle linebacker has been one of the top interceptor linebackers in this Madden cycle. Was always around the ball, seemed like, defense with his user. But again, I gave him that 92 rating because he is slick, man, at the sticks with that juke move, and he was just like one of the best runners, probably the top 5 runners in the OMFL as far as a rushing attack team. But again, he made the playoffs. He made a couple of decent runs in the playoffs. He was always very competitive. So again, the stick skills at 92. Again, activity. Bird's kind of always kind of around. I don't know if he's like really active for us, like putting a lot of content out, but he does put out like his highlights, and he puts those together quite often. He doesn't promote them, but I think he puts them together. He does articles also on Neon Sports. So again, but he doesn't like really kind of promote those out there. But he is active. He is around. He also plays in other things around the community. So he's a great all-around active guy within the community. So I gave him that 90 rating. Confidence. I kind of thought about giving him a little bit higher confidence, but again, sometimes he gets like a little down. Things kind of start going south, and he gets his confidence kind of goes south too. So again, it's a natural thing. Some guys are just like beaming with high confidence, and other guys, like myself, I struggle just to keep my confidence at a mere mid-tier level, even when things sometimes are going great. So, but confidence at 81. But he is a great guy, man. So I can't knock him for confidence rating because, like I said, myself, I am also in that boat. Sportsmanship, again, another great guy from the South. Always very respectful. Any situation that comes up, he's willing to, communicate, hash it out, and talk it through. Whatever. Sportsmanship, always kind of congratulating. So he's that guy that you would definitely want on your team as being a team member. So again, a sportsmanship rating 93. I could even probably give him a little bit higher, but great guy. And I don't really think this next one. What I'm trying to say is, I think he's better at football IQ than he gives himself credit for. He, as one of the coaches in our division that gave me a lot of fits. He always seems to kind of like, I don't know if it's like a sixth sense but he knows when to take the deep shot on you. And I don't know if there's probably Roger, a couple other guys that maybe just a little bit better. Even Kev is pretty good at taking the deep shot or the streak or whatever. But it always seemed like he called the right play for the right situation, especially when he took a deep shot with his wide receivers. And we talked about on Press Pass Live, where the one wide receiver had 30 catches with 16 touchdowns. So a lot of deep balls that he would throw, but just very timely defense, very astute. It felt like on the defensive side, because he kind of would sometimes sniff out some things that you were doing on offense, and you're like, man, it's almost like he's reading a playbook or something. But he just really, I think he's sharper in the football IQ than he would probably give himself credit, because I'm sure he's probably going I don't think I'm that, but I could be wrong, But anyway, I just felt like 92 was a good spot there for him at number 6. And then team building, I again, a lot of these guys at OMFL are great team builders. But again, being with your favorite team, I saw him cut ties with some guys that he just said, I've got to let them go, and got some draft picks for him, made some trades, and then his drafts were really solid. He had some of the best young OMFL players that made impacts on teams that I think a handful of 10 teams may have. He would be a top 10, and those rookies being impactful players for his team in the rookie season and beyond. So again, team building, 94. That's my rating, and give him a 90 overall.
Yep, I can't argue any of this. My knee-jerk reaction was, well, I'd probably have Bird 10, 9, somewhere in there, but you're right. He does everything really well. He had a couple of tough seasons, especially when we were on All Madden, but outside of that, he does everything really, really well. He is the nicest guy that you'll ever meet, just to boot. So I've got nothing else to add here. Mr. Birdman coming in as the number 6 owner in Madden 24. And that's going to do it. That's going to bring us to the end of today's stream, and just in perfect time because the wife did show up. So she's going to be banging on this office door here any second here. As we turn the corner and look at 5 through number 1, any sort of sneak peek preview of our next stream?
Well, there's probably going to be a couple that are not going to shock you, but there may be a couple that you may go like, I didn't think about these guys making the top, 5. So we'll see what happens. But again, I have fun doing these. I hope you guys enjoy them.
Oh, the guys love them.
Nothing against anybody. If I give you like a low rating and you think you're higher, I love it. Like whenever we start talking, like because you start giving your feedback, like, wow, I think I would give them this, and I think I would give them that, and so, but I love it. I'd almost love to have a round table discussion with these, but that's probably a little extreme. But that's me, because I like to talk.
I don't know, there's probably a word that smart people like Bird would know, but the little sayings, the little catchphrases, I like to say catchphrases wrong on purpose, like going around shaking babies and kissing hands, right? I'm going to use one right here because I know if I don't give the disclaimer, people are like, wait, you said that wrong. But it's sort of a gimmick of mine. I'm saying it wrong on purpose. We're going to land this ship right here. Mr. Maniac, thank you for doing the top 10. We took a look at 6 through number 10. We had Bill, we had Black Cats, we had Kevin, we had Kobe, and we had Mr. Birdman himself. That's a look at 10 through 6. When we come back on Saturday or Sunday, meaning Maniac will find a time that fits for both of us, we will come back for 5 through number 1. I appreciate you, Maniac, for doing these. These are a ton of fun. Guys, take care of yourselves. Take care of those around you. I love you. You matter to me. Make sure that you come back and hang out with us again here real soon because it is almost over for the summer. We're going to be into NCAA, and just a couple weeks after that, we'll be into Madden. We're going to be rocking and rolling. It's going to be a ton of fun. Guys, I love you. We'll see you on the next one.
Smash that like and subscribe.